Hi everyone, Vanessa Webb here. Today I wanted to show you a card that we made at one of our Inky Fingers team meetings just recently. This one is called a waterfall card and I wanted to show you how we made it. One of our team members took us through step by step how to put this together. So thanks Leonie. I've been having a lot of fun with these at my workshops and classes this month. You will need some cardstock. Now I will have the measurements of these pieces on my blog, so you'll need to go there to get those. But basically you'll need a large piece which becomes the base of the card, and then two slightly smaller pieces, so that's Early Espresso, and the two slightly smaller pieces of Very Vanilla cardstock, a little strip like that, and you'll also need 4 squares of the Early Espresso. I've actually popped some tape up there ready to go, and 4 smaller squares of the Very Vanilla, and they are stuck onto their bases with Tombow. So that's how I've put it all together, just to save a little bit of time, because the main part that I wanted to show you was the waterfall part. So let me just put these to the side for a little bit. So the mechanism is quite simple. You will need to score in a couple of different places. And again, I'll give you the measurements of this strip that you'll need to cut. So this is the mint macaron strip. And you'll need to do a couple of lines, a couple of scoring lines. So let me just bring in my Simply Scored to do that. And I've got my piece up there, up the top, ready to go. So if you have a look, the first line, I'm using the smaller end because we're scoring cardstock. This one's great for, the larger ball is great for when you're scoring paper, so that it doesn't pierce through. So we'll use the smaller end, and the first one is at 2 inches, so just score down like that, and then the next one 2 3/4 inches. Move that one out of the way. As I said, the measurements will all be on my blog, so you can look those up later. 3 1/2 inches is the next one, and then 4 1/4, so that one there. All right, so what happens when you take it out is you can actually bend it there, so it's better to bend it on the scored side rather than this side, because you've actually crushed the cardstock there, so that's going to be a little bit weaker on the other side there. So bend it on the side that you have scored on, so that's facing you, and then you should have a little square piece at the front, and round the back there's a longer, more oblong shaped piece. So that's how you know you've done it correctly. Let me get this out of the way, and then I can show you how the card all comes together. I thought I'd do a little bit of stamping because I'm using the new Thoughtful Branches bundle, which is only available for a short time longer as a bundle. There's the stamps, gorgeous. You can use these stamps for almost any occasion. I've seen so many different ideas. Flower head, you can use it as leaves, obviously, and the dies are beautiful to work with as well. I'm using one of the dies on the card. I'll show you that in a second. You can still purchase this bundle together, or even the items separately in my online store, and there's the address, so go and check that out, and make sure you add that to your collection before the end of the month. This one has been very popular, and as I said, I've seen lots and lots of different things done with it. Okay, so here we go. We're going to just do a little bit of stamping. I've got my mint macaron ink pad open already, and I'm using the beautiful branches, or the leaf. I guess that's the top of the tree, but this could also be petals. If you head to my blog, you will see lots and lots of different ideas that I have come up with using this gorgeous stamp set. So I'm just putting a little bit of stamping in each corner, and you'll still be able to see that once the card's assembled, just coming in from each of those corners. The other stamping I've already done, so you don't need to see me do that, but I've just layered a couple of things together, and you can see how all these beautiful images work together in the one card. All right, so this will be stuck onto the base card. The other piece of Very Vanilla, which I showed you before, is going to be on the back, and I'll show you why in a second. I'm using the Tombow to get these two pieces together, mainly because it gives you a little bit of leeway. You can move it around a bit once it's on there. You don't have to get it straight the first time. I love this adhesive. A little tip when you're storing your Tombow, make sure you store it flat so that the glue is evenly distributed between either tip, because there is another tip here for a larger area, and you can smear it across your cardstock or paper using that little tool on the end. So rather than standing it up, lay it down when you're storing it, and it'll be easy to use. All right, so we have this extra strip that goes on the front. Let me bring the original card back in and show you. And this actually becomes like a little stay for the waterfall effect. And the whole piece is adhered to the front of this piece of Early Espresso with some of our tear and tape. So let me just show you how that works. I'll need to bring in my paper piercing mat. Now, to put this card together, you will need to use brads. Stampin' Up! Don't offer brads anymore, but if you're like me, you've probably got a whole heap of them in your stash. So dig those out, and they are ideal for this card. I'm going to make 2 holes, one about there, and you'll see that the piece of Early Espresso is about 1/2 inch above the bottom of the card there. So it's all fairly approximate. And my 2 brads are going to go through to the back, and I'm going to lift that up. Another little tip for making your brads nice and flat at the back, when you've opened them up, you can get the end of your paper piercer and just press them down a little bit more. So let me just show you what I mean. So I'm going to have them going lengthways up and down so that they're nice and hidden, and you can just press them down flat with the end of your paper piercer like that. And then they should be sitting nice and flush with the card. That's where our back piece comes in handy. So we're going to stick that on the back and cover over these. This is also somewhere you can write a little personal greeting on your card. There's not heaps of room on the front to do that, so it's a great option to have that extra spot on the back. And again, I'm just going to move that into place and make sure that it's nice and flat. Beautiful. Excellent. Okay. Don't look at my brads too closely. All right. The original. Now I want to show you how to put the mechanism onto the card. We've already made our score lines. Oops, wrong one. We've already made our score lines, so all we need to do is pop a little bit of adhesive on the base of this card, this scored card. So you've got the square bit facing you. What you need to do is just flip it over and grab a little piece of tear and tape. So I'm going to put it about 1/4 inch above the edge of the cardstock. Just tear a little bit extra off there, and then peel off the backing, and then you are going to bring it onto the card again, and just make sure that you don't have any adhesive touching the base of the card. You want the adhesive to all be adhered to the Early Espresso. So you want to line it up so that it's about there, and you've got maybe 1/4 inch below that piece of Early Espresso, and rub it down. Make sure it's nice and straight. So you've got the long tail pointing upwards like that, and the square piece is pretty much sitting flush evenly against the early espresso piece. Now all you do is tuck this little bit down under there like that, and you can see how that's going to become the mechanism for our waterfall card. That's all it is. Now what you'll need to do next is find the last score line on there. So I'm just going to pop that like that and just make sure that that's sitting nice and flat. And then with these square pieces, we're going to put our greetings and our other images on. So what you'll need to do is flip them over. I've already adhered my tear and tape to the back, and on each piece I've actually put it up the top so that when you come to sit it onto the card, it's quite easy to see how to do it. So I'm going to put this one on first of all, and that actually goes at the top. Oh no, I'm not. I should have started with this one, but anyway, we'll see how we go. It probably doesn't matter which way around you do it, but you know, I'm always looking for new ways to do things. My last greeting, you decide what order you want to put these in. So my last greeting is actually going to go on the square here. So if I wanted to, I could put this one on first. So there you go, that's my first and my last one, but we've got to just stick the other two on now, and they're the two little birds. You could have these any which way you want. You could alternate them. You could have the pictures on the front or in the middle. It really doesn't matter. So see how I'm putting it just up to that fold line each time, and nice and straight and lined up with the rest of the card. So that's that one, and then there's my last little spot in there to put this final piece. So you can imagine how cute this would be with a Christmas card theme, a Christmas theme. You could have Santa climbing up the chimney or down the chimney. You could have a cute little baby card with teddy bears and all sorts of things. So I imagine you're going to have a lot of fun playing with this. But that's all of those pieces stuck on, and let's have a look and see if our mechanism is working. Can you see how cool that effect is? Yeah, so it just kind of folds down and up. Now on my original one, I have a little piece of ribbon down the bottom. So I've used an extra brad and some of our gorgeous linen ribbon. This is the sheer mint macaron linen ribbon. And I popped a brad through just to the other side. So that makes it easy for you to pull it. The other thing I did to make it easier to use the mechanism was to cut a little semicircle out of the bottom. So once you've got it all together, it may be easier to do this before you put the other bits on, but I don't know if you can see that there. You just cut a little piece out of the very middle, and that allows you to come in and grab the bottom quite easily like that. It still leaves you enough room to write your greeting at the back, obviously. So there we go. There is our completed card. I've added a little bit of bling to the card just by using some of the beautiful Branches Thinlits dies. Now this is the stem with the two leaves, but I've just cut the leaves off and popped them on my card with a bit of Tombow. Another little tip for you today, when you're using the glimmer paper, if you peel the wax paper off the back, you'll find it much easier to cut through with your more intricate dies. So I hope you enjoyed that today. Make sure you check out my blog, which is www.vanessawebb.net, and there's a link to my online store on there as well, and you can browse and shop. Have a look at the other samples I've got there, and don't forget to get your Thoughtful Branches bundle before the end of August. Thanks for watching. Bye.